Netflix has dropped their bid for Warner Brothers. Yep, you heard me. Netflix has officially dropped their bid for Warner Brothers. You see, this decision came after the Warner Bros. Discovery Board of Directors determined that a revised offer from Paramount Skydance, which is itself a merger of Paramount Global and Skydance Media, led by David Ellison, was superior to Netflix's existing agreement. Netflix stated that matching the new bid would make the deal no longer financially attractive, so they have chosen to walk away. Yay! Rather than to escalate this. So this effectively clears the path for Paramount to acquire Warner Brothers, pending shareholder approval and regulatory hurdles. I bet that Ted Sarandos is pissed off right now, because when he was testifying in Congress a few weeks back, he sounded very confident about this merger. Not anymore. Now, why am I happy about this? Well, because if Netflix acquired Warner Brothers, they would have become the biggest streaming monopoly on the planet. And they would push forward a very left-wing agenda, as we've seen them do in the past with scenes like this.
I don't like girls.
Now this means that Paramount, whose owner is David Ellison, says that they will not pick a political side with their content, which they've shown with their latest movies and shows. Like Landman. Landman is a perfect example of a show that can make fun of both political sides and still be one of the biggest and best series that you can stream right now. And since Netflix doesn't usually do theater releases, this is very good for the theater business. But if they do drop a movie at the cinema, they're only there for like a week before they drop them on the streaming service. So Paramount has saved the cinema and the entire movie industry, since Warner Brothers owns some of the biggest movie franchises in history, and series as well. Now, you won't see the woke crap that Netflix loves to put in their stuff. Franchises like Game of Thrones, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, and The Hobbit, DC, Friends, and a lot of other content will now be free from the woke crap. I mean, could you imagine what Netflix would have done with these franchises? The whole woke business is dying. Netflix is starting to understand it, but I'll tell you who definitely got the memo: Disney. Since they've changed their entire department. A new CEO is coming in to replace Bob Iger, who's been CEO since 2005. And they've also got rid of their chief officer and communications chief. And Kathleen Kennedy as head of Star Wars is also gone. Pedro Pascal is probably crying his eyes out seeing how unpopular woke has become. I bet ICE is pulling better than woke at the moment. They have literally removed the woke squad from the company. I guess the Disney board thought the message wasn't working. Look, the new Star Wars that started off under Kathleen Kennedy was a major success, with The Force Awakens making over $2 billion. But then, after The Force Awakens, she started to change everything to, you guessed it, woke. That's why The Last Jedi felt so weird and off compared to The Force Awakens. And box office-wise, it only made half of the previous movie. Rey and Finn were in love in the first movie, but then in the second one, he goes off with this Asian chick, and Rey is all like independent, like everyone who isn't white should be. Then, after the movies flopped, Kennedy went over to series. And again, they were successful in the beginning with shows like The Mandalorian. But then, of course, they have to spread the message and make shows like The Acolyte, which was, yeah. And it had a person like this directing it.
Telling me with a straight face that C-3PO is straight.
They're a couple. That's what I think. But this is more outward.
I think it's canon that R2-D2 is a lesbian.
R2-D2 is gay? Come on. Robot. Jesus Christ, these people. Thank goodness for common sense people ordering these excuses for directors to be fired. The Acolyte is the type of show that Gavin Newsom plays with himself while watching. Not for me. So thank you God for bringing back common sense. With Game of Thrones' latest show, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, being a slam dunk for the ratings. And honestly, it was just an incredible show. No woke, no BS, just brilliant writing. And quite simple as well. That's why I'm really happy that Paramount is acquiring Warner Brothers, because they can produce good movies and shows and keep the theater business alive, and at the same time not put woke bullshit into the movies. And look, I know Larry and David Ellison are Trump guys. Well, yes and no. David Ellison, who's the CEO, has said clearly that Paramount's goal in the future won't be to serve one side in politics, unlike Ted Sarandos, who's been using Netflix as a tool for the left, since 99% of Netflix endorsements go to the Democrats. And Netflix would have destroyed the theater business completely if this merger went through. So us movie lovers are very lucky. Thank you for watching. What are your thoughts about this? Subscribe and follow for more.